What's going on, guys? Tony Ivanov here. So as you can tell, I am pretty pumped. Not only did I make $678 trading today, actually trading pre-market I made more money, and then after the market opened I lost around $100, 80 bucks I think. So I would have been better off by not even trading once the market opened, but you know, that happens, you never know. But at least I was able to lock it in and walk away with a profit of, like I said, $678. But more important than that, the moment that I've been waiting for the past 3 weeks now, my car is finally getting delivered today in the next 3 or 4 hours. So I am really ecstatic. If you guys want to watch the car get delivered, I'm going to be doing a live stream on my Instagram. It's at Tony Ivanov. It'll also pop up down here somewhere. Not sure when, but you'll see it. So if you want to be part of the experience and watch the car get delivered, you can view there. I'm also having a very awesome video of the delivery made by my good friend, but that will take a few days to edit up and make it look nice. But you know, I'm really pumped. I'm super excited for this. It's been a long time coming. I've been working very hard for the past 3-4 years now, but it's finally becoming a reality. So guys, don't forget, life can change so fast. All you need to do is put your mind into whatever your passion is, and mine was trading. Put your mind and put your heart into that passion and just go all in. And if you keep trying, and if you fail enough and learn from your failures quick enough, then you can achieve anything. All right, so we're gonna break down the trades that I took today, mainly the trade I took in pre-market and also the other big moves of today. So if you guys enjoyed this lesson, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Alrighty everyone, so today is June 19th, 2018. We had some amazing spikes today. Very awesome follow through from yesterday when GEVO spiked from the 4s to $22. You can see this had a very nice move in after hours in pre-market, and this eventually squeezed up through yesterday's high of day and hit 24.71. So that was an awesome move. We also had so many other stocks do crazy moves, namely ASTC, which is what I traded pre-market. So ASTC, I traded this one pretty early. I usually don't wake up this early whatsoever, but you know, I'm not sure why I woke up so early this morning, but I woke up at like 5 a.m. without even using an alarm. So I was watching ASTC. This one had good news. Take a look at the news real fast. You can see their hardware was accepted into the European evaluation process for security screening in airports, which could be potentially huge news, because if all airports in the EU use this hardware, then they're going to be getting lots of revenue. And not only is it revenue, it's government revenue from a contract, so that's always very solid because those last for 5-10 years. So of course, ASTC, being a low float of 3.11 million shares, saw lots of hype and lots of volume in pre-market. And I was watching it all the way down here when it was barely even moving. The main thing I noticed is that this was making higher lows, and this was approaching a pretty important level on the daily chart of 343. I've gone over this many times. I don't want to waste time going at the daily chart labeling all the levels of support and resistance. If you want to learn how to do that, either go back in my previous video lessons and learn, or if you want to save time, you can join my mentorship program, link down below. But my main plan was to get in on ASTC because I wanted to really take advantage of this pre-market move because it had good news and it looked so strong so early on in the day. So I bought in at right here on this candle. I bought at 325, only 1,000 shares, because usually pre-market, because I use Thinkorswim, I cannot use market orders, and when you're placing after hours orders in Thinkorswim, you have to do lots of manual adjustments. You have to change the term, change the route, change the order type over to limit from stop. There's just lots of time consuming things. So I didn't want to go in with too heavy size, because when I do have to cut the loss, me taking so long to even make the order will cause slippage, and I wasn't prepared for that. So I only wanted to do 1,000 shares. So keep that in mind. $3,260 position. Squeezes up, breaks over the high of day of 339, and squeezes through the resistance at 343. So the main thing with this play is that I got immediate resolution, and you can see this squeezed up immediately. And I really wasn't prepared for this. Usually I don't play these trades in pre-market, and I really wasn't expecting it to squeeze up as much as it did. So I actually took my profits way too soon. When I sold, it was only 5 minutes later, and I sold into the 385 level because that just seemed like, you know, an awesome trade, making $700 using only 3 grand. But of course, I sold way too soon. Even in the moment, I kind of knew I was selling too soon, but that is kind of my nature. I always love to lock in my nice profits. And this continued to squeeze with almost no red candles except for here in the low $4 range. It pulled back for just a minute, broke out higher, hit a high of $5.19. So if I held my initial position all the way down here at 325, I could have made nearly $2 per share, almost doubling my initial investment. And guys, keep in mind, I'm only using $3,200 on this specific trade, and I made $700. So don't give me the excuse that you guys don't have money, you don't have 25K to trade with, because you don't need it. Yes, it is easier to trade when you have more money, but it is not necessary to start out with a big account. I have so many new students who use $500, $1,000, even $2,000, and they're making consistent profits almost every single day. I'm not going to say every day because they cannot trade every day, but they're making consistent profits over time, and they're growing those accounts just like I did when I started. So watch out for those guys on YouTube who are using $10,000 to make $100. Yeah, you made $100, but you know, using 10 grand to do so, that doesn't really help out people with $1,000, because what, they're going to make $10 per trade with commissions. That's just unsustainable. So then you can see, of course, ASTC continued to squeeze in pre-market, and by the time market opened, it was already up to $7 basically. Now after that main trade, I didn't want to chase ASTC anymore, mainly because I wanted to make sure I had my profits that I made already. And the main thing that I was telling my traders in my chat room and my live stream is that, guys, this counts as ASTC's morning spike. Don't expect this to run up 200% in pre-market, open up at the market open, and then run 200% more. That just doesn't happen. This pre-market move counts as the morning spike. So you have to imagine that, okay, after this massive move, it's going to start selling off. And that's exactly what we saw. Yes, it did make a pretty nice breakout over $7 and eventually hit $8, but look how choppy this was. This went from $6.75 up to $7.50, hit a high of $7.68, dipped down to $6.60, and it was just very volatile and had lots of whiplash. And this is actually that you cannot trade real time. Yeah, looking back at it now, yeah, you could have bought this dip, you could have sold here, but in the moment, there's no pattern to play off of, and there's no real risk level to play off of. Yeah, you do have the large level of support at 661, but it was broken one time already, so it's just not good price action, guys. So you have to focus on the areas where there's easy to read price action, and this is not it. One area I do want to point out that had great price action was right here on ASTC. So this area I was looking to buy, but I already had logged off of my Thinkorswim platform, so I wasn't quick enough to get in. But if I did play this one, I would have probably made at least an extra $1,000. So of course, it does suck to say that, you know, I missed out on making the grand, but I will be honest, I did not trade this one, even though it was an awesome setup. So what we had here is we have the big morning spike, and then we had the pullback, right? And then after all the massive selling, after the volume dies down, you can see the volume starts to pick back up. So let me just use the 5-minute chart just so you can see the volume shift a bit more clearly. So you can see right here, the volume dies down significantly. and drops down and then consolidates and starts to make higher lows. As you start to make higher lows, you can see that there's increases of buying volume. You can see these large green candles going up on buying volume. And then one of the most important things that I see, at least, is that, especially on the 5-minute chart, we had this large pop up from the $5.50 range up to 661, which was also a significant level of resistance on the daily chart. It pulls back, does a U shape, and then breaks out higher. So the way that I would have played this setup, it's a bit easier to see on the 1-minute chart. But this right here is kind of a inverse head and shoulders, and you also just have the classic higher low pattern. So when I was thinking about playing ASTC, I wanted to buy into the first higher low dip that I saw, because after a massive morning spike like this, and then after the massive pullback, the first higher low dip shows signs of strength. And then one thing that I do want to note is that on this higher low dip, you can see once it bounced the first time, it saw resistance at $6. It pulled back, rode along the 20 EMA, it rode along the middle Bollinger Band, curled up, made that higher low, and then it squeezed up through $6, and look at the volume. That would be a key indicator for me to say, okay, buying volume is coming back, I need to hop into this play. Because the most important thing with trading, guys, is that traders move these prices. It's not the indicators, it's not VWAP, it's not the stochastics, it's not the moving averages, it's volume. It's traders buying and selling. And if you can identify places where there is massive amounts of buying and you get in right at that point, then you're going to be riding the wave of momentum, the buying wave, and you're going to get in at the perfect point right when it explodes over $6. You can buy, 1,000 shares here if you have 6 grand, or even just 500 shares here if you only have 3 grand. Myself, I probably would have used 2 grand, because usually in midday, it's a bit easier to use bigger size because it doesn't move as volatilely. So I would have been comfortable using 12 grand on this play, buying 2,000 shares at $6, and then we get immediate resolution, spikes up to 636, holds there, makes higher lows, meets that resistance at 661, pulls back, but it still sustains that level at 626, so it's not bearish. I would have still held through this because we did not make higher lows yet. You can see nice double bottom there. And then it does another U shape and then breaks out and goes to $7.14. So all in all, this right here, if you want to ignore everything else about ASTC, this is the area that I would play. The most important thing, guys, is that when you're trading a strategy, you have to not just look for a simple pattern like a wedge or an inverse head and shoulders or anything like that. You want to look for a overall strategy. So what kind of stock is it? Is it a low float? Does it have news? Did it spike in pre-market? Did it fail at the market open? You have to have a large criteria that will narrow down your trades to maybe 1 or 2 trades a day. Because once you start to try every single wedge breakout, every single U shape, every single dip buy, you're going to catch yourself over trading and you're not going to be consistent. So you have to study these charts and try to identify patterns in psychology, and you take advantage of those, and then you can be a lot more consistent. Because here what we're seeing, if you want to break down the psychology of this trade, of this price action, all the shorts, they were attacking ASTC at high day, shorting it down, and we get these 2 big cracks which show lots of selling and shorting pressure. Most shorts like to hold their stocks for as long as possible to maximize their gains. So the only time that they will be stopping out of their trades is when they see signs of pressure. And one of the biggest signs of pressure, buying pressure, is a higher low. So in this higher low, what do you get? You get longs who want to buy in on the first higher low, and you get shorts who are worried about the longs wanting to buy into the higher low, and they're going to cover up prior to the squeeze. So you get 2 types of buying. You get longs buying, and you get shorts covering up their shares, buying back. So that formula creates this massive jump in volume that you see here. and causes this squeeze. Remember guys, traders move the price. If you can identify what traders are doing and thinking, you will be so much better as a trader. So that's my main lesson for today, guys. I do want to talk about CLSB, I think it is. CLBS. Yeah, CLBS. Massive squeeze today. They had great news. Keep an eye on this one tomorrow. It's already ran 100% today. One of my traders in my chat room called this out all the way down at $5 and is riding it since. So he's nearly up 100%. So, you know, shout out to him. But yeah, so if you want a stock to watch tomorrow, keep CLBS on your watch list. Of course, I do make a watch list every single morning, and you can view that at tonyivanov.com/blog or tradebuddy.net/blog. Link will be down in the description. Alrighty guys, so thank you all so much for watching this video. Like I said in the intro, if you guys enjoyed this content, please leave a like and leave a subscription. If you have any questions, concerns, or inquiries, leave a comment down below and I'll be happy to get back to you as soon as I can. Alrighty guys, thank you all so much and have a great day.